What is up, everybody? It's officially been a year since Persona 5 Royal released, and geez, that's something.
Yeah.
Here we've got Michelle with us, otherwise known as
Hi.
Seniorish.
That's me.
Last year we recorded a video gushing about this game for like nearly 3 hours, which is kind of the standard for us, but you guys seem to enjoy it, so we're back again talking about this game and kind of just reflecting on it again.
Yeah. Since it's been a year, which means I only have grown to love it more.
That's the thing, like, there are a lot of games that, like, you'll kind of have, like, that initial, I guess, like, honeymoon period with, where you initially play it and go through and you're like, man, this is a really great time, and, like, I love everything about this. And you'll take a step back and you're like, okay, maybe this could have been fixed up a bit and this could have been a little better. Like, I kind of had that with Persona 5 Strikers. I still love that game. But with Royal, my appreciation did only get better and better as time went on.
Yeah, because, like, I feel like no one has ever brought up, or nor have I ever, like, recognized an issue big enough for me to care.
Yeah, it's like SIU director is still a thing narratively. Ryuji still gets beat up after Shido's palace. Yeah, those are the big ones. Otherwise, this game is a freaking masterpiece, and I think, yeah, both of us, it's just our favorite game of all time at this point.
Yep, because I mean, I've said it in previous discussions, and I'll keep saying it forever, because I truly believe it, and also it makes people mad at me on Twitter, which is Persona 5 Royal was perfect. It is, like, I will always consider this game to be perfect. Now, is it literally the dictionary definition of perfect? No. But every issue I have with it is so minuscule that it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's, and yes, many people would disagree, but, like, for us, it's so close to flawless, where, like, anything I'd have to point out are what I would genuinely call nitpicks, that I don't even care, or, like, the issues that are there, I understand why they're there, and, like, what they're trying to go for.
There's almost always a silver lining to any issue I have with this game.
Exactly, which is a freaking, like, it's a good freaking time. One big thing that, like, especially reflecting on even more after this game's release, is a lot of people will still dismiss this game as, if you played Persona 5 Vanilla, you're getting, like, 6 more hours of content at the end, with, like, barely anything changed throughout. When I look at my save, where I optimized everything in Royal way more than I had in my initial playthrough, and, like, had less downtime just sitting there, somehow my playtime in Royal was, like, 70 hours longer. Granted, like, 25 hours of that... Yeah, 25 hours of that was my brother grinding out the Velvet Room and fusing, like, until 4 a.m. every night, because we were playing together. But
my playthrough where I didn't do that was about 20 or 30 hours longer, and considering that I almost certainly got through the original game stuff faster, not only because I was more knowledgeable, but also because this game is easier, yeah, there's at least 30 hours of content I'd say added in Royal.
That's the thing, and a lot of that is, like, stuff in between that, like, none of it is unnecessary. Like, or, like, even if it's not, like, mega plot important, it's actually, like, fun and isn't just, like, we're gonna take, like, in Golden, which I know people like these scenes, but it's less, we're gonna take a complete detour to do something completely different and, like...
Let's go to the beach.
Yeah, we're going to the beach, and it's, like, those are fun, but it's very... Like, it feels forced in, while a lot of what Royal does is, like, add voice acting to scenes that were really cool or important but didn't have it before. Or, like, adding extra scenes in, like, big events that we did have before that, like, maybe didn't need more to it, but it adds, like, a lot more grandiosity to those moments. Like, the school festival is way cooler in Royal.
Yeah.
Like, stuff like that is just, like, extremely cool to see.
And none of it feels like filler.
No, you could... I know some people feel that, like, Kasumi is a bit forced in early on. And that's, like, one of the critiques where I was like, I get it. I get that. So, like, that's up for debate. But you still have to note that it is important.
The only part to me where Sumi felt forced in was, like, the prologue, like, with, like, flash forward. Other than that, like, any other time Sumi was integrated, like, obviously I noticed it because I played vanilla, but she never felt like she was being that forced into the plot.
No,
at least not to me.
It's like a weird blend between, like, the effective parts of, like, automatic social links without getting rid of the ability to have those social links. Or confounds, whatever you want to call them, you nerds.
She's also building upon, like, a lot of the themes of, like, what the Phantom Thieves are doing.
Oh, yeah.
Especially with, like, the scene she has with Akechi.
Yeah, a lot of the characterization between, like, her and Akechi, or her, Joker, Maruki, like, everyone is really well handled. I love Kasumi a lot. As Sumire, spoiler discussion, I don't even care.
Spoiler discussion. I always refer to as Sumi, because calling her Kasumi feels wrong, and calling her Sumire is spoiler, so I just go Sumi.
Yeah, Sumi is the fan accepted term, and I'm fine with it. It's adorable.
She's small.
I don't know.
I like her.
This game's a lot. I guess we can go talking more about, like, the game and specifics a little later on, because we got time. We always got time for that.
This will be 5 hours.
Probably not that long, I hope. But
I do want to point out about, like, sort of our love for this game, because we have talked about this game a lot, like, a lot.
Yeah.
Like, not like you have your scripted videos on your channel, but in terms of, like, the discussions, we did our royal spoiler discussion when we both finished the game a year ago. We did a Strikers discussion, which was, like, for Bat Game.
We did your Game of the Year discussion.
Yeah, over on my channel there was the Game of the Year discussion.
Very good video. Check it out. Yeah,
it was a fun time.
Watch all the discussion videos on that channel. They're all fun.
We talked about Sevens. Watch Infinity Train. And yeah, I mean, like, we've talked about this game so much, and that's not even including, like, outside of YouTube. But, like, I still have never, like, been tired of talking about this game. I still love talking about this game. I still feel like there are things for me to talk about with this game, even after, like, not just a year of Royal, but however many years Vanilla's been out.
That's something I find interesting, because, like, there are a lot of people, like, on Twitter, or, like, in comments or whatever, it's like, why don't you branch out of, like, Persona 5, or, like, why do you always talk about Persona 5, whatever, just Persona in general? Mm-hmm. And, like, some people are like, some people do have the issue on YouTube, even in the Megaten community. Like, I know, like, I've talked to several people about it, where it's like, they don't want to feel boxed in by the games and, like, feel obligated, like, they have to talk to it, like, or, like, talk about those games. And for me, like, I do have those things, like, I made the Toradora video, because that's something I'm, like, equally passionate about. But for me, like, Persona is such a staple in my life, and I love these games so much that I don't get tired of it. Like, if I had enough to talk about, which I honestly probably do, I could probably make videos on Persona alone, let alone Megaten, for the rest of my life.
Yeah, like, there's so much I always feel like I can talk about with Persona 5 specifically, but any Persona game, just thematically, story-wise, gameplay-wise. These games, I feel like, because, I mean, like, you also get, like, that whole, like, that, the meme about, like, P5 fans only play P5, but also they've never played P5 or whatever. And, like, I love I play a lot of other games, I love a lot of other JRPGs. I haven't branched out as much as I want to in JRPGs quite yet, because I'm poor, and also, they take a lot of time.
Yeah.
But, like, I love a lot of other games, but the reason Persona 5 Royal is my life is because I think it's that good. I have never found another piece of media that meant as much to me as Persona 5. And, like, there are other stories that mean a lot to me. Katawa Shoujo, Danganronpa, Despair Girls, Spider-Verse, Infinity Train, whatever. But, like, none have ever hit me as much as Persona 5 Royal, and none of them have ever got me as obsessed as P5R has.
That's the thing, because we're, like, I think we just passed the No, we're about to pass the 4-year anniversary of the Western release, and are nearing the 5-year anniversary of the Japanese release for just vanilla P5.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's something that's just last 4 years for me have been very different in a very good way. It's just a freaking good time. On that note, though, one thing that I feel like we didn't touch on our spoiler discussion, because we had the actual game to talk about, is I always found the build up to release for Royal really fun and interesting. Because that's when we had what was it? All the rumors going around Persona 5 Switch, which definitely wasn't someone misinterpreting the letter S on a leak they saw for Strikers. And then my favorite title of all time, Persona 5 Crimson, from the people who don't know why Persona 4 Golden was called Golden.
Yep.
I don't know. There's a lot of stuff like that.
Persona 5 Fire Red.
Dude, awesome. And I just love the build-up to releases like this, because Super Live is just sick.
So for me, with the build-up to the release of this game, because I know you weren't really there for that, I was there for the build-up to vanilla P5.
Yeah.
Because I was already a Persona fan thanks to Golden. And I was there for a decent bit of the build-up to 5. I saw the trailers, I got excited, I painfully waited as that game's English release got delayed 4 times.
Yeah.
I'm mad.
I still have the nightmares.
Yeah, so I was kind of there for that, and seeing the build up to Royal was interesting because we had, I think Atlus just was p5r.jp one day.
Yeah.
Which everyone kind of figured was okay, this is the game's Golden. Then we got the teaser trailer that had
Femc P5 edition.
Yeah, which by the way was the only reason to ever watch a Persona 5 anime OVA.
what was it?
It aired after that.
What was the deal with the Smash leak where it was Jane from Persona 5?
Oh yeah, so in P5, in the files for Smash, because every hidden in the, for those who don't know what Smash Ultimate, hidden in the files of that game, every DLC character has kind of a code name that kind of is vaguely alluded to who they are, and it's always kind of, I forget exactly what all of them are, but yeah, Joker was Jack, which was fitting because that's another playing card, and stuff like that, and
also potentially Jack Frost, but yeah,
and basically in the files there was hints at another, because this is before Joker was released. All we knew was that he was announced, and that we just had files of him. And there was another thing, I forget exactly what it was, but I remember people thinking it was people were thinking it was physics for a ponytail.
Yeah.
Which is why people seeing this new redhead girl got everyone excited.
I don't know the code. For all we know, that could have been the grappling hook or Arsene himself.
My guess is that it was Arsene's wings, yeah, or something like that. Something more physics based. It was Arsene's animations. It could have been Morgana,
Or the mask.
It could have been anything. Yeah, it could have been a million different things. It could have just been alluding to his alts, because he has a different costume with a different render and shit.
Basically, people gaslit themselves into thinking it was a spoiler for Royal having a female character. Meanwhile, I was sitting there in the background being yeah, Persona 5's getting a sequel, spin-off, where you play as a different group who's with Akechi or something. It's maybe an AU. I was very crackheaded that summer.
No, yeah, because there was that teaser with Sumi, which vaguely alludes to whoever she was, and after translating it, we kind of found out, oh, she's not a fan of the Phantom Thieves and stuff like that. But then my favorite part of that teaser, which was just revealing the logo of Persona 5 The Royal with just the very beginning of I Believe.
Ooh, yeah.
That was amazing. And then Persona Super Live rolled around. I watched it. That trailer started playing. I cried.
As you do.
And yeah, just seeing that trailer, and then coming back the day after to watch the exact same concert, except with another trailer at the end, which was Persona 5.
That was so stupid. that was unique. I quickly want to touch on that because it was the exact same concert, like, replayed, right?
Well, no, they did a second performance.
Okay. I wasn't sure about that because I thought it was literally the exact same, like, footage, but they just tacked on, like, the scramble trailer at the end.
Mm-mm. No, yeah, they did a second performance.
Okay.
Which, yeah, and, like, I get probably the reason they spaced out the two trailers like that was for, like, for a better excuse to have a 2-day concert since they realized that Persona was big enough to warrant 2 days.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, so, like, that Royal trailer happened, and then Atlus, I think they were Atlus USA, I don't think they were Atlus West yet.
Yeah.
On Twitter, basically made their tweet about, like, yeah, Persona, or I don't even know if they said Royal yet. I think they may have just been like,
no, they
the
did.
Phantom Thieves Return 2020 or something like
that.
No,
they had the name because that was when Atlus was willing to announce the game prior. I'm looking at you, Strikers, which literally got announced 2 months before release.
Royal's build-up was fun. Strikers build-up stopped being build-up.
It was aggravating because that game, and I know there's a Royal discussion, but, like, Strikers is very much on the mind with the new release. That game got announced, I think, exactly 1 day under the year anniversary of the, no, or was it released? Okay, no, it was released, 1 day under the release of the Japanese one.
If you
it was announced... Yeah,
exactly. You got the game, like, a week after Japan did, a year later.
It was announced, like, 500 plus days after the original announcement, because that was right alongside Royal.
After the first teaser trailer, which, again, we're talking about Royal, but I do want to mention the fun build up to Strikers, like, not the Western release, I mean just the Japanese release, because, like, they announced it, people got mad because it was like, wow, I can't believe it's this new game and not just a straight port of vanilla Persona 5 on Switch.
SMH.
Yeah, so that happened. But then, like, the second trailer came out, and people were like, oh, wait, this looks like a good game. It's not just Persona 5 The Warriors.
Musos are good games. Always have been.
No, yeah, like, I just remember, like, sort of, like, that build-up and just, like... Because, you know, I mean, even me, like, I was super hyped for the idea of Persona 5 The Muso. But, like, seeing, like, that first proper trailer, I was like, oh, this isn't just going to be, like, all of the Persona 4 spin-offs, which felt like spin-offs. This is going to be Persona 5 too. And then they did that in the second trailer with, like, the logo, which it still makes me smile every time I see it, of just, like, the Persona 5 and the 2 getting swatted away. Like, they knew.
Persona 5 has a tendency where, like, the second trailer, or, like, the one that's, like, always, like, PV2 or whatever, is always, like, godlike.
And it also doesn't get translated.
Yeah. Well, because that's the one for Royal that had I Believe.
The second trailer for Royal. Yeah, the second trailer for Royal, which had I Believe, which I watched that trailer over and over just to hear I Believe.
I still watch it because it makes me cry.
Yeah, like, if you have never seen it, look up, like, Persona 5 Royal PV2 or something, or whatever. It's, like, the second Japanese trailer, because that trailer is... because, like, it's just such... like, an incredible way of starting. Like, it opens with, like, the, or no, that's the first one. Because, yeah, it opens with Sumi's, like, fake awakening, right?
Yeah, that's the one that opens with her Cinderella awakening.
Yeah, and then, like, the part that gets me every time is whenever, like, it does the slow bit of the song, then it, like, goes back to the really upbeat last chorus, like, to, like at the, like,
the car
timed
skidding.
Timed with, like, the Mona bus doing that jump in the final palace.
So good.
And just, like, everyone and, like, all of them, like, cheering, and it's like they're fucking flying through the sky. I was like, this is the greatest game. I'm crying.
Yeah, and it delivered, honestly, like, more than I expected, which I think is an impossible feat. Yeah.
Yeah. Because me and you were always the type, because we looked at all the trailers and, like, we heard stuff about the game. We were the types that, like, would go out and be like, no, this is not just a cash grab. This is, like, a real... It's a game that's worth it even if you played P5.
This is gonna be something.
Yeah, it's not gonna be like, it's not gonna be like fucking Chrono Trigger on DS that had some really shitty after games. No, this is like a real thing.
Imagine if Atlus built up FES like this. Imagine. But this time it was warranted.
I get on the surface just seeing, yeah, they're re-releasing the game on the same console. Why? But it was worth it.
It's in 4K 60 FPS, quote unquote. I find it funny, like, most people I know didn't realize, including myself to an extent, that Royal isn't actually, like, like, it's in 60 FPS, supposedly, but it's not animated in 60 FPS, I think. Something like that. And that's only evident once you've played Strikers on a PS4. It's like, oh, no, this is what 60 FPS looks like.
Yeah.
I don't mind, the Royal looks gorgeous. Both games look gorgeous. Friggin'
yeah.
Persona 5 kind of the move.
It is. But yeah, like, we have all those trailers. Like, they did all the character trailers, which that really started, like, yeah, you could argue it spoiled some stuff, but one, I feel like it kept stuff vague enough that it was still interesting.
Yeah, it had those little, like, teasers at the end with all their, like, wishes, like, for Maruki, which once they showed, like, Akechi's, I got the gist. I was like, okay, this is what well, I think Futaba's was the big one, actually.
Because the first one was Ryuji, and I know that one kind of made me realize something was up because of,
the track
it was just
team.
like, oh, he's with the track team again, and just, like, stuff like that. And, like, you know, Shiho's fine, and Haru's dad's alive. Like, it made it kind of clear, like, vaguely what it was going for, and after seeing that, I was like, okay, this is the perfect way to continue Persona 5's story.
Yeah.
Let's take these characters who have gone through nothing but hell. Nothing good happens to this group of teenagers.
Give them a happy day.
Let's give them everything they wanted, and then rip it away from them.
You know, man, I freaking love third semester. We'll get there. I mean, I guess we can basically get there, because I was thinking, like, at this point we could, unless you have any more thoughts on the build-up, because that was basically it until release, and then obviously just, like, the little waiting period for English. Actually, okay, I do want to note, one of my favorite small details in the, and I think the first English trailer we got for Royal, that wasn't, like, I think just a straight translation of the first Japanese one, was the one where they're fighting Kamoshida and they're, like, attacking him, and you get the little numbers that reveal the release date from all the damage. I thought that was cool. I thought that was clever.
If there is one, like, Atlus may make me angry in the fact that, you know, they make us wait so goddamn long to play their games in English, but I will say, every time an English release date gets revealed, I kind of get happy, because they always, like, Atlus knows how to make a goddamn trailer.
Yeah.
And, like, one that always, like, I watched that Strikers trailer, that English reveal, so many goddamn times, and, like,
once the time comes where they actually can announce it, the announcements are usually fantastic.
Yeah, and, like, I love the Royal announcement.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I guess with all that said then, freaking, like, the impact that game had on us personally. Ooh.
Yep.
Friggin', like, because most of that game is the same, just, like, better.
Yeah.
I friggin' love, like, I guess, let's just get me over it, like, all the new, like, phone call stuff for the confidants. Like, Tycoon gives me, friggin' massive joy, but we can...
Oh, yeah,
we
that's
can
the thing.
save Thieves Den for the end.
They didn't just add 30 hours of new content. They added an unlimited amount of new content with
Thousands!
With Tycoon.
Thousands of me just listening to, Throw Your Mask Away in Thieves Den while playing cards with my buds.
Some of the best Persona dialogue is Ryuji playing Tycoon.
Yeah, but... Pass!
It's just your turn forever.
Oh my gosh, I haven't played Royal Tycoon in several months, and I really just... It's calling to me, I've told you this. I'm gonna start playing it again soon.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna play through Royal again tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, doing a funny live stream.
Yeah, for anyone watching this when this releases, most likely, Michelle is streaming Royal right now, so watch that after you're done with this. Or midway through, I don't care, this video is always gonna be here.
Watch my stream, that would be funny.
Woo!
Sub to my Twitch channel.
But yeah, like, third semester is, like, infinite feels.
Yeah.
It gave us, like, in my opinion, just the best character in the series, hands down. Like, in all the games. Marky is like, you can't see my hands right now, but it's reaching up real high.
Because he's, like, my third favorite, I think, out of any Persona game.
Because what are your other two?
On's number one, obviously. Number two is, like...
Come on.
No, number two is... It is basically between... I don't know exactly who. It's, like, either Yukari, Ryuji, or Joker.
Yeah, that's a good lineup of 5 characters.
Yeah.
You got it. I don't know, like that...
I made a tweet about it where I was kind of joking. I'm like, I'm pretty sure if I made a list of my top 10 favorite video game characters, literally half of them would be Persona 5, and then I actually did it, and I was like, yeah, half of these are Persona.
I think for me, like, no character would be thrown in outside of, like, what... Like, Yakuza 7 characters and 13 Sentinels characters, and they just make the top. Maybe, like, Wheatley from Portal 2.
Because mine wasn't even, like... Mine was all of media. The only non-video game character was Taiga from Toradora.
Yeah.
But...
That might widen things a little more, but... man. It's freaking good time. I think the themes of Royal, like you said, though, are just freaking brilliant and fit so well. Because one...
Royal is... I think... in terms of, like, theming for Royal, I think... It is very underappreciated how well Persona 5 tackles its themes and how surprisingly kind of deep it is in terms of, like, its themes about justice and morality.
Yeah, like, because recently, like, playing through with some other friends, I've been watching through Maruki's, like, Confidant as you go through it, which I hadn't seen since going through the actual game. And there's so much, like, foreshadowing of, like, yeah, like... I want to use this power or whatever to, you know, change the world and help people, like, escape from their issues. You know, maybe one day we'll be pitted against each other with our ideals. Yeah, so...
Oziach is now playing Terraria.
It's a good... No, I'm not!
Why is Steam telling me?
Listen, Steam is lying to you. Don't mind it.
Alright. I don't know, like... Because I already thought the way Royal... Or the way Persona 5 did its theming even before Royal, I already thought was incredible.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, Persona 5 was genuinely a game that kind of, I don't know, inspired me in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of gave me, like, this perspective on, like, what I actually think, like, justice should look like and things like that. But, you know, the game also kind of challenges, like, ideas about that to kind of make you think about it. And, like, what constitutes justice and is the Phantom Thieves just? You know, stuff like that.
That's the thing, because there's a lot of, like, discourse on, like, if Maruki was in the right and if his reality is right or whatever. I don't think it is, but I feel like if you didn't at least entertain both sides of that debate, you're not really doing it justice, because it is a very, like, genuine ideological conflict.
Or the... I mean, this is Strikers, but, you know...
that too,
kind of like what I saw people talk about with Strikers, which was like, well, you know, the thieves talk about how, like, oh, they don't brainwash, you know, they're not stealing people's desires, but they're just brainwashing the villain, which is even less true in Strikers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what, like, you know what the jails are, right? I won't say it here because we're not talking about that game, but, like, you know, people say, like, learn to read when tell Persona fans learn to read. No, learn to listen. It's all voice acted, dude.
I also will say, like, I don't want to paint a straw man of anyone, but a lot of those people... I'm not saying this justifies a lot of arguments, but I feel like in that case, you really can just be like, this person's never heard of Lesser of Two Evils, because if you think that the Phantom Thieves are the ones that are more in the wrong than, like, Kamoshida, then, like, we might need to talk about that, but
yeah.
behind a wall.
Because that's the whole point of the Phantom Thieves, is that what they are doing is essentially the last resort because justice has failed these victims.
They're morally gray. It's Robin Hood. It's Robin Hood.
Robin Hood, Arsene, even, like the gentleman thief type, of like, ideally, you wouldn't have to take from the rich and give to the poor, because ideally the poor wouldn't be poor.
A gentleman in the streets, a thief in the sheets.
Shut the fuck up. Anyway, yeah, I don't know, like, I get, like, very passionate about this game. If you follow me on Twitter for about, 10 minutes, you'll pick up on that. But I don't know, I guess, like, I really enjoy discussing this game, and sometimes it makes me angry, because it's not that hard to pay attention.
Yeah. I don't know. It's unique. I don't know. Anyways, freaking third semester. Ooh. We talked about it a lot, like, in our old video, and amongst ourselves, several times. Man, the bad ending in Royal is so freaking good.
Yeah, as I like to refer to it, the ideal ending.
Yeah.
Which is like, that ending kinda, it hurts to watch.
It makes you feel so many things, because you're like, this is so sweet. Frick!
Yeah, this is sweet. I can't believe I just decided to give up my friend's free will for this.
Yeah, it's... Oh my gosh. Royal is just like you said, it is a game that made me very much reflect on genuinely how I see the world and stuff, and like how I like interact with people and stuff like that. And me like trying to be a writer, obviously very strong influence on the stories I want to tell and how I want to achieve those stories. And it's just ridiculous.
There's also I like to point out just another head-ass take that Joker basically forced everyone to give up the ideal. How
Michelle.
Short-term is your memory?
No, Michelle, you don't understand. He intimidated them by telling them he'd be seeing them later. Ghost Joker really does numbers on a psyche.
Ghost Joker is still the funniest shit.
It's been a year. It's been a year, and we're still laughing at Ghost Joker. I want to note that.
I'll be waiting.
You have to answer every time, but that I cannot see a justification any other way.
It's so good. I love it. It's great.
Yeah, because for anyone who hasn't seen our other Royal discussion, I have been very held up on whenever you have to talk to the different thieves, and kind of get them to, like, second guess what's happening in Maruki's reality. And you always get, like, one custom answer for them, but then you also get, trench coat in tow. You can just say to all of them, I'll be waiting, and then walk away, and you don't see them again for the rest of the day. Because that's all Joker does the entire week.
He just does that, goes home, and takes a nap.
Yep. Oh, it's beautiful.
It's really funny. What a game.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot to say with third semester, like, and just Royal in general, all the stuff included. Freaking Sumiri's a fantastic character. Adult Morgana's voiced by Nagito and Kirito.
Yeah.
So that's how you know he didn't deserve to exist to begin with.
Every new, like, arc that each character gets is fantastic. And again, I don't know, this is gonna become a video of us just friggin' straw-manning arguments we've seen on Twitter. But goddamn, every time I see someone say that the characters get their first arc and then do nothing for the rest of the game, that's not only untrue because of third semester, that's untrue because of just the plot of the game and how much every character contributes.
Yeah, also, is it a straw man if it's literally the arguments we've seen perpetually?
A lot, yeah.
Oh boy. There's some interesting folks on the Twitter.com.
Because that's the other thing, like, I will never like, I understand people have their opinions on characters. I will never understand truly hating any member of the Phantom Thieves.
No, like, my least favorite is Futaba, which many people will, like, grab a handgun at the fact of me saying that. But
where
even...
they'll cheer, and then you'll be like, but I like her, and then...
That's the thing! Like, people despise Morgana. And I will never... I get it in the most, like, distant way possible.
In the most surface level sense of, yeah, he's kind of smug.
Like, I am literally Mr. like, man, this arc was ruined by Morgana, huh, whatever, ha ha ha. And even I'm like, no, I love Morgana, like, there's, like, whatever. There's aspects in that video I don't even agree with anymore in terms of my own critique. Like, Morgana is still a really freaking good character. One crap arc that involved him does not make him a bad character, because I still think he's freaking great.
Yeah, like, because not only is, like, the best part of his arc come at depths, but, like, he's not even that bad in the Okumura arc.
Yeah,
It's basically one line to me. It's basically just the one line where he's like, "You're only in the Phantom Thieves for girls." That's like the only line in that arc that I think is like really like stupid.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't end with an apology.
You know, if I can congratulate the Persona 5 anime on literally one thing. Okay, there's two. There's two things it did right. It gave us Ren.
Yep.
And it gave us Ryuji and Morgana actually apologizing to one another and crying. And that's it.
Yeah.
And those are great. Yeah. I love those. They both involve Ryuji, who would have guessed.
The rest of the anime fucking sucks.
Yeah. But man, that stuff helps. Anyways, Morgana's great. I love Morgana.
Morgana's a great character. Like, my least favorite Phantom Thief is Makoto. She is still
one of my... You want to say that one again? No.
He is still one of my favorite fictional characters of all time. Because that's the thing, like, anytime, like, Makoto's my least favorite, but there's not a worst Phantom Thief.
Yeah, like, I've seen opinions go completely in, like, every direction for, like, their favorite is, like, Sumire or Akechi, or, like, the classy person who thinks Joker is the best, and I would give him a very positive, not even ironic thumbs up, because I respect that person.
That is extremely respectable, and, like, I'm very close to also sharing that opinion.
Yeah.
So, like, because, like, I love all 12 Phantom Thieves now, including Sophia and Zenkichi. Like, every Phantom Thief is interesting. Every one of them brings something new to the table. They're all really well done characters. They all manage to... My thing with the Phantom Thieves as well is I think all of them manage to stand on their own and really differentiate from a lot of other Persona party members, like in previous games. But the parts where they do overlap, I think the Phantom Thieves almost always do it better than previous iterations. And
Royal only makes them better.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I love every single Phantom Thief. There is... Every single one just means the world to me. All of them are 10 out of 10 characters.
It's, big feels.
For a long time, I thought at least everyone could agree that Yusuke was good, and then I saw that person who said one way to fix Persona 5 is remove Yusuke, which is still, like, one of the most baffling opinions I've ever heard. Of, like... Because I'm trying to remember everything else this was on Twitter. I'm trying to remember everything else they listed, but one of the specific things was remove Yusuke. And I'm like, what?
Sorry for, like, the Twitter tangents, but this stuff is very entertaining. It wasn't even
just, We have been reading this shit for a year.
It wasn't even just remove Yusuke. They still wanted to keep Madarame's arc.
Got it, dude.
Like, they wanted to keep Madarame, just not have Yusuke there. That's, like, the exact opposite of, like... the people who say that after Yusuke joined, there shouldn't have been any more Phantom Thieves, and it should have just been, like, stereotypical heists after that point. Because the only palace, like, moment they liked in the game was, like, stealing the Sayori.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Which, like, that seems sick, but, like, you know...
You gotta innovate. You gotta do new things.
Yeah.
If you want a game where every dungeon's the same, play Mystery Dungeon. You'll get your fix. It's a good game, but that's what I like Persona 5 Royal.
If you want a Persona game where every dungeon is the same, then you play Persona 4.
That is also completely true, except that's less fun than Mystery Dungeon.
Yeah.
Boy.
I like Golden, I promise.
P4, like, not... I don't want a tangent for this, but, like... P4 is the Persona game I'm most critical of next to 1. Still love it. I still love both games. But I got a lot of thoughts on it.
This discussion is just going to turn into, hey, I hate the Persona fandom.
Oh my
It
gosh.
fucking sucks. No one in this fandom understands what writing means.
Well, I guess on a similar note, and also I guess kind of noting P4G, now I kind of talked about the impact on us. One big thing that's really hit me is the impact of the game on Megaten as a whole, both, like, I guess fandom-wise, but, like, specifically development-wise. Because, like, SMT5 is, you know, like, right around the corner? Question mark?
Question mark? Do you honestly believe it's coming this year?
I want to believe, and I think Atlus, the fact that Atlus West, like, did another, like, 2 months before release announcement for Nocturne makes it possible, but also, like, you would expect them to be saying things to Japan about SMT5, and they haven't.
I get they want Nocturne to come out first, but also Nocturne's been out in Japan.
It is first worldwide release, which, you know, say what you will, Persona 5's popularity definitely gave Atlus the tools to be able to do that.
Well, not only that, but also Nintendo money. I think
That is
helps.
also completely true. But yeah, I don't know. Like, because I know SMT4 Apocalypse, while not like a lot of people's favorite games, generally is considered to have the best gameplay in the mainline games. I think like Nocturne people kind of debate that a little. But one big thing for me is like Royal tuned up the gameplay so much. And, like, it's been a little bit since the last, like, mainline SMT game that I do wonder how much the gameplay, like, quality and the dungeon design of Royal and stuff like that will help, like, future Mega 10 games actually, like, transcend in terms of gameplay. Because, like, I love P5's gameplay, but even then, like, I could point out a lot of flaws in it. Royal is the first time where I was like, man, I love everything about the gameplay here. I have, like, no issues.
Yeah, pretty much. Because, like, that's my thing. It's like, yeah, the game's really easy. I'm also having so much fun that I don't care. It's like a Kirby game.
Yeah, like, a game doesn't need to be difficult or challenging to be good.
Like, I would understand that being more of an issue if this was, like, actually a mainline SMT game.
Yeah. No, those games are designed for the challenge.
Yeah, if you buy mainline SMT and it's as easy as Royal, that might be an issue. But, like, that's not what Persona's had its difficulty. But personally, I would argue that most difficulty in previous Persona games has come from bullshit, like insta-kill moves or really stupid AI party members.
Like, for me, give SMT5, like, the versatility and technicality of Royal in terms of, like, how many options you have and how much you can, like, maneuver through those fights knowing what you can do. But because SMT has a much more hardcore fan base in terms of gameplay, actually give them those consistent challenges that, like, warrant using all the tools you have. That would be awesome.
I want to make it clear, because I know people interpret this. This is not us saying SMT5 should play just like Persona 5 role. No, obviously, that definitely not. But what we more so mean is take sort of like a lot of the quality of life things Royal added and a lot of like sort of like even like UI enhancements that just made Royal flow way better than other Persona games. Because I think one of the most underappreciated things that makes Persona 5 battles flow better than like any other JRPG battle except like Yakuza 7.
Because it took the exact same menu format?
Yeah, because Yakuza 7 took the exact same menu formula, which was instead of scrolling through a menu, just mapping everything to a different button, which once you know what each button is by heart, you can blaze through those menus, which is just, it's a minor thing. And it's not like, you know, scrolling through a list is hard, but it
becomes complete,
better.
like, it's muscle memory, but like extremely quick reaction muscle memory. So it's just like, yeah, L1X, I won the battle. Let's go. Let's keep going.
Because I went from P5 to Persona 3 FES, and going back to like that type of menu felt way slower.
Yikes. I don't know, just like, yeah, like you said before, we don't want SMT to become Persona. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what Apocalypse does, and it doesn't really work. More so story-wise there, but like, yeah, gameplay-wise, just like, Royal, I think it is very... It gives me good, like, hopes for... Now that Atlus has more money in, like, what they're doing, and, like, has more hype for the bigger projects they're making, and has more insight in their prior games, I hope that Mega 10 games going forward, like, no matter, like, what spin-off or mainline game for whatever series, I hope they continue to be, like, this polished and this fleshed out.
Mm-hmm.
I also, like... This just raises questions for me for Persona going forward.
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously, like, people are hyping up Persona 5 Arena, if that's ever gonna come.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, I just sit here and think, like, what the frick is Persona 6 gonna do to somehow top this?
Yeah. Yeah, because my thing is, I'm like, okay, because there's a lot I think about with, like, the future of Persona, because there's P5 Arena, which everyone wants. There's what I want now, which is Persona 5 Strikers 2.
Which all of Japan wants and the developers want, so honestly, I'm all here for it as well.
Yeah, and then, there's what about Persona 6? And, like, I don't know what Persona 6 could be. I'm not even going to try and guess at that. But I look forward to what is next for the series, especially with this year being the 35th anniversary year of Persona. Or not 35th, 25th anniversary year of Persona. Meaning that... And Atlus has said they want to do stuff for it. We'll see what that means. But
Stuff.
Yeah, so, I mean, like... Regardless, I am excited just for this year for Atlus because they want to do stuff for Persona. SMT is kind of getting its resurgence this year as well. So, like, yeah. And then they're going to announce Catherine 2.
Woo! Catherine, half full body.
They're going to announce another trauma center, baby.
You know, if that happens, we popping off.
Yep. Oh, no, Royal.
Royal.
Yeah.
It's been a... Time's been weird. Friggin' COVID, like, happened right when this game was releasing, which freaked out every Persona fan, because it's like, will I get my game?
I got it.
Yeah.
Like, I want to point out as well, I bought the special edition of this game. Sitting over there, I can see my Persona 5 Joker mask. One of my proudest things I own.
I was broke when that happened, so I didn't, and that still brings me pain.
Yeah.
All I need is the mask. Freaking pray to God that somehow is possible to get in the future. Through eBay at a potentially reasonable price. I doubt it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just have a lot of hope for Atlus games in the future with how friggin' good Royal is.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of later games, though, so we have Royal, and we have Strikers, and we're not talking about continuity. I don't want to even bother with that debate.
Mm-hmm.
But now that we kind of played them all, it very much has me thinking about, like, I guess comparisons between the two in terms of, like, quality.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, because we touched on it a little in the Strikers discussion, my opinion, Royal has the better narrative by far. Like, kind of stepping back from Strikers, I'm a little more disenfranchised with the narrative. Not much. I still adore that game's story and a lot of its characters, and I think most of the villains are freaking fantastic. But Royal definitely has the, like, bigger impact. If Strikers had a 9 out of 10 mark in my brain, Royal is still the 11.
Yeah.
On that note, Strikers also has freaking great gameplay. Next, what if Persona games are gonna get the equivalent of the Pokemon rumors that have circled around since like Infinity? Next mainline game is gonna be what is it? Bleh. Like a hack and slash, real time RPG.
I don't want that. Like, I know there are people who are tired of Persona turn-based combat. I never will be.
Yeah, no, I think P5 found a very good rhythm for it, and Royal made that rhythm infinitely better, and it just makes me think that P6 or whatever comes later, turn-based combat, I think they can make it really cool.
I don't, like, for me at least, like, I get, like, you know, I don't really see, though, how, like, you could play all 6 turn-based mainline Persona games, get to 5, see how much 5 changed and made better, and be like, yeah, there should be an action game now.
Yes,
like, I think they should, like, change genre, kind of like how Final Fantasy did.
Well, because Strikers does show that works really well. I think Strikers could have been, like, a little deeper, like, combat-wise. It shows that there is a market for that. I just don't think it needs to be mainline. Maybe they're gonna do the inverse Yakuza, where now that Yakuza's all turn-based combat, Sega's like, all right, we gotta flip the script. we have a new RPG on our hands. Let's put all the beat 'em up combat in Persona.
And Sonic is a rhythm game, and they're gonna bring back Space Channel 5 to be a platformer.
Listen, Michelle, the old rumors are definitely true. Persona 6 will feature Nanako as the main character, with Kanji by her side, and they're gonna go around beating up people in Inaba.
Shut up.
It's gonna happen.
I still really want, at least, if Persona 5 Arena happens, because we know friggin' ArcSys, they have to bring back their OC. They're very proud of Sho Minazuki.
And what about the other one?
Nah. They're gonna bring back Sho, and they're gonna be. I want at least one joke about Sho being Joker.
That would be beautiful.
Yeah, because those who don't remember that, back when Vanilla was coming out and people saw what Joker looked like, they were like, "Is the protagonist of Persona 5 Sho Minazuki?" Which is like the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
You know, I'm glad that like Persona 4 going into Persona 5 let the fan base like air out the thought process that, yeah, this game did so well that it will never be let go, and it'll be the standard for like the characters and everything going forward. Because if that happened with the P5 fandom, with how much bigger this game is, we would all look more insane than we already are. So yeah, Nanako's coming back. Let's go, boys.
Let's go.
I mean, that reminds me of stuff like early on in P5. There was like the playable Adachi protagonist mod for P5, where it's just Adachi with glasses. You love to see.
Yeah, that was a thing. I still think the best mod for Persona 5 is the broken Minato mod.
What is that?
Remember that?
No.
So it was a mod I believe Shrine Fox made, which was he was trying to mod in like the model of the Persona 3 protagonist. And he was like using like the PS2 model even, and like he was just kind of like getting it to work, and like he eventually got it to work, but he also did upload a broken version of it where he's just T-posed the entire time. So you're just running around as a T-posed Persona 3 protagonist, still a PS2 model, and it's the funniest shit ever.
And are you still able to like ambush people and stuff?
No, yeah, he just T-poses on top of an enemy. Their mask just explodes off of their face out of sheer like fear and
perfect. Thank you, Shrine Fox. You've done the Lord's work. Oh, think you died.
My headphones, it's fine. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, just fucking T-pose Minato and Persona 5 is still the funniest thing to me, though.
I don't know. It's just like perfect segue off that. It's not really like a massive segue or anything. Man, P5 just means a lot to me in general, and Persona as a whole. Just freaking good series.
Yep.
Royal, like, it feels like it's been a year, but it also doesn't, which is the like most pointless statement of all time. But like, honestly, it's like I still vividly remember initially playing Royal, because that was right after I made the casino video. Literally, like, I was finishing that up and also finishing up the April Fool's video. And I was just like, oh yeah, the store just has Royal, like, ready to be picked up a day early. Sure. And it's, I don't know, it's just one of those things that I know I can't go back and have, like, the perfect just initial experience I had playing a game. But man, that experience was godlike.
Because for me, like, Royal ended up being my third time around with Persona 5, because I played Vanilla twice.
I think it was my fourth.
And going through it again, but now, like, just better. Because, I mean, like, you know, I mean, there's, like, the obvious things to pick up on, you know, Sumi's in the game, Akechi has a real confidant, etc., etc. Like, the very obvious noticeable things. But if you're the type of fan like us, every little thing, like, you know, the tweaks made to every character sprite to make them look nicer, just like every tiny detail like that made playing Royal worth it, and made every second of Royal feel fresh, even though it was, you know, heavily the same game.
Yeah, like, Atlus will have to work a freaking miracle, whether it's with SMT5 or whatever the next Persona game is, or whatever next Mega 10 game, whatever. It's probably going to be Atlus, if anything. They'll have to work a miracle to top this as my favorite game in the future. Can they do it? I don't freaking know. Royal topped Vanilla P5, which sounds obvious because it's the same, like, base, but I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. But as it stands, this is, like, it just hits a little too hard.
Yeah. Because that was the thing, like, I know some people played through Royal with, like, the way they did it being, yeah, I'm just gonna skip every cutscene I've already seen, and to that I say, why?
Yeah, you ever think about the people who beat Royal in 40 hours and they were like, nothing new was added?
Yeah.
That was an interesting period of time. That was before the English release. They played the Japanese version and skipped all the dialogue, and then they were like, yeah, played third semester, it was like 4 more hours of content, yeah, nothing changed.
Yeah, I think they were specifically trying to speedrun the game or something.
Yeah, they got called out very hard for it.
Yeah, because it's stupid.
It was literally 3 days after release in Japan, I believe. What an accomplishment, you did it. I hope Mom's proud. I don't know. One thing that, like, I feel is very fitting for Royal is that game is just a celebration in general, which is no more, like, evident than with brace yourselves, Thieves Den!
Woo!
No, I freaking love everything to do with Thieves Den. I spent way more time in there than most anyone. Like, I see, like, various people play through Royal and it'd be like, new Thieves Den thing. They're like, okay, whatever, and they just keep going on their way. I'm like, no. Every single time I get that notif, I go into Thieves Den, check out what it is, see some new dialogue, play Tycoon for like 20 minutes, and then I jump back in. It's
like, because, like, I mean, there's a lot that it does. Having access to every cutscene in the game is great. All the music's great. Tons of art. Like, there is a shit ton of art to get.
Like, that's just lined up on the walls and freaking gorgeous.
And it's like, because it's not just like, oh, here's like some very basic concept art and a bunch of renders. It's like, yeah, here's like a shit ton of promotional art that was released over the years, like magazines and like sales milestones and just random things the artist did for, you know, like those types of accomplishments.
You know, like that freaking, like, the Thieves Den as a whole does more than any digital deluxe version Atlus has released since.
Yeah. Like,
Strikers and I believe Nocturne as well both had that. It's like, this is cool, but I've seen the peak already.
Yeah, because like Royal's version, like with fucking what's it called? Like that, like I don't know, all the fucking art. That's like what I'm on right now. Like just that like massive amount of art that's just like there's just like this random drawing that was done for like a magazine or something of like Carline Justine just like in Santa outfits for like Christmas.
It's
that
beautiful.
Like the artist did, or like like just shit like that. Like at like actual magazine covers. I know like some of the art for Daybreakers is there.
I was about to say you can watch the first 2 minutes of Persona 5 The Daybreakers. Awesome.
Yeah, you can watch the oh, it has like a bunch of concert performances too.
Oh yeah, it has a ton of, I believe it's Super Live stuff.
Well, only one of the songs is from Persona 5 for some reason, but you know.
I don't mind. I get
that was the only concert that existed at the time, but one, I think you still could have squeezed something in from 2019.
Yeah.
Which is where Royal got announced. Like that would have been a really cool thing of like actually being able to watch the like crowd's reaction to Royal. But like not even just that, but like only Lin performance was fucking Rivers in the Desert.
I mean, that's the only one you need.
It's really good. I don't know, like I just love having all the super lives, all the cutscenes. The opening to Vanilla P5's there, so you can still have it. Don't worry.
It's necessary.
That's the other thing. Okay, like, the other thing about Royal, there are people who don't like Third Semester, and they don't like Sume, and those people are wrong. But I still will never understand a reason to play Vanilla Royal, because you can just get the original ending.
Yeah. In fact, like, for... Like, anytime I have a friend play the game or something, I obviously, like, don't want to have to jeopardize it, so it's, like, play twice to get this thing. And I don't think there's inherently a flaw, it's just how I prefer going through it. What I always do is sit people down once they've beaten Yaldabaoth, go, here you're gonna watch, like, this hour-long thing of, like, the original ending of P5, and now you can properly appreciate where Third Semester takes things. It's not a flaw with the game, it's just my own preference with how the information is conveyed.
Yeah. I don't know, so you just still get the original ending. You can have, and also still have access to, Akechi's Confidant, which basically everyone universally agrees is better. You have all the new, like, gameplay additions, the better sprites, the new music, everything. You get everything. I don't see a reason to go back to vanilla. Ever.
Awesome. You ever think about the fact that in original P5, I believe you got an Akechi rank up in the Honey I'm Home scene?
I think so.
Yeah, that was fun.
I do also want to point out, we talked about this a few days ago, I do find it funny that after Royal came out, people just randomly decided to agree that Akechi was a poorly written character in vanilla.
Okay. It was like, because I have what I feel like I have to label as Makoto syndrome, where when P5 released, everyone was like, Makoto's the best character, we love Makoto, like, best girl by a mile. And then, like, a year in, people were like, no, Makoto always sucked, what are you talking about? She's like cardboard. She doesn't do anything.
She's cardboard, she's overrated.
Yeah. I'm like, where did this come from? And Akechi got that treatment, but, like, he never had any more backers in vanilla P5. And I'm like, I really, like, when P5 released, Akechi was the fan favorite. He just was, like, literal Atlus polls. It was like, yeah, Akechi.
Yeah.
And I really like Akechi in vanilla. I think he's done a lot better in Royal, but the same narrative beats are there in vanilla. It's just that you get it more, like, you get the in-between moments more fleshed out, which, like, bumps it up, but I still thought he was great. Like, playing with Ash recently, he got to the Asher.
You may know him from twitter.com in his cookie clicker playthrough.
Oh my gosh. Bring back the cookie clicker streams.
That's a joke for 4 people watching this. Don't worry.
Yep, but I
see you, Scythical. You're out there.
He had never finished Vanilla P5 by the time Royal came out, so he's like, yeah, I'll just start up Royal and go through it. And I was with him at, like, Black Mask, And he just looked at me when he got to, like, Akechi's boss fight and everything, and he's like, people don't like this? And he looked at me in complete, like, befuddlement.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, people, like, Royal fans are like, yeah, this scene's great. And then the vanilla, they're like, yeah, Akechi had nothing. I'm like, this scene was identical in that game.
There is one difference.
They changed one, I think, maybe 2 lines.
Yeah, like, the only major difference is just, like, the, you know, I want to fight you again. I think that's, like, the only difference.
Oh my gosh. You know, I love Royal. I feel like this is a fitting time in a Royal celebration to say, yeah, I still adore Vanilla P5. I don't find much reason to play it unless you just have no way of playing Royal. But, still a fantastic game.
But if you own a console that P5 is on, unless you played P5 on a PS3 and never got a PS4 or 5, that's like the only way I can think.
Like, unless you have money to buy a PS5 and then literally will never get money again, even though you just bought a $500 console, I guess, oh no, but you have enough money.
No game.
No, but you have enough money to get PS Plus. Then yes, I guess Persona 5 Vanilla is at your disposal to play for free.
But also, fun. Royal is not expensive anymore.
Royal is also like $20.
Goes on sale for like $5. It's like Yakuza 0. They just sell one of the greatest things ever made for like
$2.
Fucking $1.
Yeah.
Like,
Sega's strategy, I don't know what it is, but I don't mind because I'm getting peak.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. I don't know, I freaking love this game. I don't know if you have any other major thoughts you'd like to say before wrapping things up.
I don't know, like, I just love everything, like, legitimately. It is not an exaggeration to say I love everything about this game, all of it.
I don't think a lot of viewers understand that, unironically, we could just sit here and just, like, have, like, brief pauses and then just be like, I love Persona 5. And we could just do that for several hours. If we really wanted to.
We have very monkey brain.
I see Persona 5, my brain go burr.
I remember you said, because it was like we were talking about, which was whatever you... It was a conversation was I was like, the Persona 5 logo is like a magnet for me. If I see it, I'm gonna go towards it.
No, legit, like... because you were talking about how... I think you were at, like, a Walmart?
Yeah, so I was in a Walmart, and, like... They have, like, those, like, sort of, like, cardboard, like, displays that are kind of, like, stuck to, like, the side of where the shelves are, if you know what I'm talking about. And the one for Strikers was just kind of pushed a bit above the shelf. So right at eye level, I just see the logo Persona 5 Strikers, and I'm like, I'm walking over there now.
No, that's the thing. I'll literally, like, be in a freaking, like, a Kmart because I'm dying. And then I'll vaguely see...
Kind of just dumped.
And then I'll vaguely see a shadow, and I'm like, it's a shadow like Persona 5, let's move!
Because my thing, it was very funny, I just saw the Strikers logo, walked over, and then I was in the Xbox aisle, and I'm like, that's not right.
I don't know if that's right.
Mom, come pick me up, I'm scared. I guess before we end this, because, like, I don't know, if you came into this video wanting a beat-by-beat talk about the entire story, watch our other discussion. But yeah. I guess if there is one thing we could do before ending off, just rapid fire best favorite moments of the game.
Oh, frick. I mean, obviously Checkmate, just get that off the table.
My top 3 favorite moments in Persona 5, and like some of my favorite moments in all of fiction. My favorite moment in all fiction, Checkmate. That entire cutscene. I love it so much.
Yep.
The second one, Begone, similar reasons. The third one, which is very personal for me because my favorite character, the scene where Ann cries to you during the first arc, whenever she's talking about like Shiho and Kamoshida, and whenever you're like with her in the diner. That, no matter how many times I watch it, still kind of crushes my soul.
I adore that scene. I also relate on like Checkmate, Begone. Like, I think both of those are perfect finales for the games they're in. Mm-hmm. On that note as well, the ideal ending where Maruki is walking away and like spinning his little hat in his hand, all like, yeah, like I'll see you guys, have fun with your photo, is like one of the most weirdly chilling shots I've ever seen. On like,
well, because it's that, and then like it zooms in on Joker, and all the music kind of cuts out for a second as Joker's like,
yeah,
this doesn't feel right.
Well,
And but then Joker walks away as well, and like the final shot is like Joker's back to the camera.
I think it helps to talk about like Marky just for a sec, because like for someone who is so like inviting, he's just like a cool, clumsy like therapist, really cool guy.
The most bottom character I've ever seen in fiction.
Like when you like talk to him, like he's not threatening or anything. Like he is a genuinely really understanding character. But then you get scenes like, despite all that, where he's like, you just get a text and it's like, hey, I'm downstairs, we're gonna talk, and all the music cuts out, and you're like, you know, I know this man is not gonna do anything that's going to like physically harm this character, but the intensity he somehow brings just by his presence in third semester is astounding.
I think part of it also comes from just how close of an attachment you get to him through his confidant.
It's so good.
And through like his relevance to the plot. Like, oh man, he's such a great character. In terms of like other scenes though that I love, I mean, every time Life Will Change played, all of them.
Yeah, all of them.
Oh man, I know there are people who really don't like this part. Joker's faking his death is one of the greatest twists in gaming.
I freaking love that. There are so many good moments in third semester alone though, because I'm thinking, and I have so many moments I adore in vanilla P5, but then I'm going like, yeah, you get like Akechi's rank 8 in Royal, not third semester, but like that duel is freaking fantastic. Let me be honest, I hate you.
Yeah, there's that.
There's one scene that people don't talk about a lot is when, like, Sumi kind of, like, remembers who she is, and then, like, Akechi and Joker are like, alright, we gotta go save her from the palace owner. You find out it's Maruki, and then she's just, like, carrying her bridal style as she's like, don't freaking, like, just stop it. Like, don't come over here. And then
she's like, I will protect her.
Well, she gets the crap beaten out of her, and then Maruki's like, alright, don't worry, like, you're putting her in pain, I'll fix this. And then freaking, like, just has tentacles go into her persona, and just goes, like, ballistic. It's like, I love you, Maruki, and, like, you shouldn't be scaring me, but that's horrifying.
Oh, fucking, as well, whenever you first find out he's the villain, and he shows you the video of who Sumire actually is, and like it makes her have a fucking mental breakdown, which is because he basically is trying to remind her, this is why the reality is a good thing, remember? And
I think you forgot.
And I just love, like Akechi's like, all right, fucking fight me, and I just love Maruki's line, just, violence isn't really my thing, and he just motions the shadow to go fight you.
I love Maruki so much.
So good. Also, showtimes?
Oh my gosh.
Showtimes?
Boy.
What is the best showtime?
It's Akechi Joker.
Cool. Alright, glad we agree.
Yep.
So, moving on. Ryuji Yusuke also really makes me smile. Yeah. But, oh man, like so many scenes, like every single awakening is something that I have like almost all of those like scripts memorized.
Sorry,
especially Joker's.
Real quick, did I ever send you the meme of it's the showtime with Ryuji and Yusuke, but it's Joker opening the door at the start of Strikers and just
yes, you sent me that.
Yeah, it's just Ryuji and Joker shooting him, and then it just cuts to the shot of Joker having gotten shot and just slamming his head down on the desk. Oh my.
Oh man, that scene is really funny, like out of context in a lot of those memes. But I do want to point out that scene of Joker getting shot, the blood running down his face, and then his head just smashing against the table. Yeah,
if you guys want my thoughts on all of that, if you haven't seen the casino video, I did, where I used to think it was the best until Royal. Freaking watch it, please. It's good. I like that one.
Man, every boss fight's fun.
Oh my gosh, yes, Shido's boss fight in Royal. So freaking good. Like,
because like your favorite's third semester, which is 1,000,000% understandable. My favorite is still Shido.
Shido's powers, right behind.
I adore Shido's powers because Shido's powers is like it's like the big climax of Joker's character arc, because believe it or not, he's got one of those.
But that's the thing, is like, again, like I said,
just coming full circle.
I appreciate this game more and more as time goes on, and like replaying Shido's Palace recently, I was just sitting there like, man, this is fantastic, and this is fantastic. I love like the piano cover of Ark that plays in the restaurant. I love the Akechi fight. I think that Shido's 6-phase boss fight is the most raw and intense thing in this entire game. Like, actually, like, fight-wise. Rivers in the Desert is, like, just, like, second favorite song of all time.
People hate Shido, and I am mad
Shido is such a good antagonist. In my character tier list, I genuinely, at this point, after having gone through that palace again, I would genuinely bump up Shido from an A tier to an S tier character.
He's always been S tier for me. And, like, with Shido as well, like, I will say, if one of your issues with Shido is he has way too much power, it's completely unbelievable, I think you need to look at real politicians in the
I think they're also missing the point and maybe the commentary, and, like...
Yes, that too.
I just think Shido's Palace has one of the greatest moments on that exact note, you know, like, obviously they're talking, like, political power, but, like, it does make me think in that boss fight, you get through 6 phases of fighting him, and then after you beat him up, he, like, gets back up with a cocky smirk, and is about to throw down again, and then just collapses. It's so freaking good.
And, man, every fight's incredible. Fucking, well, like, just, it's all really, really good. And as well, this game as well is funny, and the way all of its humor is, like, driven by its characters, like, it doesn't matter how many times I see it, the Beauty Thief scene will always make me die laughing.
I would definitely say I think Strikers is the funnier game.
Yeah, definitely.
But, man, the moments that hit in Royal are so freaking good. I like Yusuke's scarf.
Every line Ryuji has is beautiful.
Oh my gosh.
Man,
Happy birthday, Royal.
Yeah. Best video game ever made.
Yeah. So, want to get Denny's?
So they got that in, like, Japan? Is that, like, thematic, or do you just want Denny's?
I refuse to answer that question.
We could go to Checkers if you want.
Alright, let's get some Checkers. Alright, bye, guys.
It's a fun game.